Toledo Biz Connect TV proudly presents this episode of Business Sense, Making Sense of the Business World, with your host, CPA Ron Brangham.
Hi, I'm pleased to have Richard Chamberlain with us today. He's an attorney at law. He works with people with wills, trusts, and business succession planning. We're going to talk about business succession planning and how important that is for a small business owner to have a plan in place. I have personal experience recently with a client who did not have a plan in place, and the business is now closed down and everybody is scampering around for all of his assets. And it's a tragedy. It is not what he wanted. So I brought Richard in today to talk about how can a small business owner get a plan together and so his wishes are taken care of. Welcome to our show, Richard, and I know that you're going to have some great tips for our small business viewers.
Well, thanks for having me here, Ron.
Richard, what kind of advice do you have for the small business owner that may have to leave their business?
Well, Ron, the first thing we need to do is we need to understand the circumstances of why a business owner would leave their business, whether it would be because of a planned retirement or because of an unexpected circumstance like a disability or premature death. The type of planning that we do is going to depend on whether this is a sole owner of the business or whether they have other owners in the business with them. And so for a sole owner of the business, the first thing we need to do is identify the person who could take over the business when they leave. That could be a family member, or it could be a current key employee of the business, or it could be an outside third party. So in a business with multiple owners, the business owners need to decide whether the remaining owners will buy out the share of the departing owner, or whether that departing owner would be free to transfer their shares to someone else, like a family member or a third party. Usually in those cases, the remaining owners would want to buy out the share of the departing owner because they want to be in control of who they're in business with.
Richard, well, now that the business owner has made the decision of how the business is continued, what kind of plan do they need to have in place?
Well, typically the best tool to use is a buy-sell agreement, which is an agreement between the business owner and the person who would be buying the business for the purchase and the sale of the business interest. That happens at the agreed upon circumstances, whether that would be the retirement or disability or death. And at the time the agreement is set, the business owner can set a price for the purchase of the business, or they can set a procedure for how the price would be determined. Typically, the buy-sell agreement is funded with insurance so that there's cash in place for the purchase of the business interest at the time.
Well, Richard, I also believe it's important for a business owner to have a buy-sell agreement. And so how does a buy-sell agreement work with the small business owner's personal estate planning?
Well, Ron, it's important to remember that a business is only part of a business owner's assets. They also have a home, maybe other real estate, accounts, retirement accounts, life insurance. And so their estate planning needs to encompass all of their assets, not just their business. It's important for them to have a will or a living trust in place, and that will ensure that their affairs are handled by the right person, that their assets are handled the way they want them to be handled, and that everything will happen smoothly and efficiently. They also need to make sure that they have a power of attorney in place and health care directives so that the right people can do things for them when things need to happen.
Richard, I agree with you. Those are all very important things for a small business owner and individuals in a lot of cases. What happens, though, if a small business owner doesn't have these things in place?
Well, Ron, if things aren't planned correctly, then it's very likely that things will go badly. For the business owner, there will be fights over the business. There will be valuation problems and control issues. It's likely that the business will not continue, and instead the assets would be sold, and often at bargain basement prices. So it's important for people not to wait to do these kinds of things. You never know when you're going to have the opportunity to do it. You certainly don't want to wait until you're getting ready to retire. or if you become ill. In those cases, you can lose out on some very powerful opportunities to do the right kind of planning.
Well, Richard, how can somebody get a hold of you if they would like to get a plan in place now versus later?
Well, Ron, I do offer a no-cost initial consultation for people who want to talk to me about business and estate planning. If they want to schedule an appointment, they can call my office at 419-872-7670. Or if they want to learn more about me and my law firm, they can visit my website at www.chamberlain.law.net.
Again, thanks for being here, Richard.
Thank you, Ron.
Toledo BizConnect TV thanks you for watching this episode of Business Sense with Ron Brangham. For more great information, visit Ron's website at www.brangham.com. Also browse the other shows found right here at Toledo BizConnect TV.